This is lesson 107, using percent to name a part of a group. So they talked a little bit about what percent means. So percent means out of 100. So they used an example of if you had 8 boys and 20 total students. Can you think of how many girls you have? Probably 12. So if you have 8 boys and 20 total students, what percent of the total students are boys? Well, I know 8 out of 20, but they want it out of 100. So what do I do to 20 to get 100? Multiply by 5? Okay, I can do that same thing to 8, because really I'm multiplying by 1, aren't I? So I say 8 times 5 is 40. So I know that 8 out of 20 is the same as 40%, 40 out of 100, right? Okay, let's do the same thing with example 2. They have red beads and total beads. I love my ratio charts. I can use them for so many things. You'll see on the next example, we won't be able to use them, but if it works well, it is a beautiful thing. Okay, so I have red beads and total beads. 60 red beads, 400 total beads. What percent is that 60 out of 400? So I come back down and I say, how do I get from 400 to 100? It has to be a multiplying or a dividing thing. So let's divide by 4. I do that? As long as I do the same thing, doesn't matter. So what's 60 divided by 4? 15. So I know that 60 out of 400 is 15 out of 100, same amount, so 15%. So that's my example 2. I like these charts. They keep me organized. Again, you can do it however you like. The book gives you a slightly different way. I like these charts if it's easy to go from your ratio to your actual. If it can be multiplied or divided by a whole number. If not, you can work with the next problem. So, at the top of page 705, they give me an example, and they say, what is 1 out of 6? What percent is that 1 out of a total of 6? And so I say, 6 times what is 100? Nothing. It's not a whole number. So, I'm going to have to try something different on this one. They suggest that I multiply by 100%, and then I can rename it. So I've got my 1/6 times 100%. Remember, I can just put a 1 under it and then just multiply like multiplying fractions. So 1 times 100% is 100%. 6 times 1 is 6. That still doesn't really help me out much yet, does it? But is that a division problem? Anytime you have a fraction, remember it's a division problem and the top number always goes in the box. It becomes the dividend, right? So let's draw my box, put my 100 in there, 6, okay? And it's 100%, so I'm going to put that over there so I remember to put it at the top. Will 6 go into 1? Nope. Will 6 go into 10? Yes. Okay, it will go 1 time. So I multiply, subtract, okay, so I check. I always want to remember to check. Is 4 less than 6? Yes. So I can bring down, will 6 go into 40? Yes, 6 times. And I have a remainder of 4. So I can say that it is 16 and 4/6. If I reduce that 4/6, it's the same as 16 and 2/3. And remember my percent? So I put my percent after it. Hopefully that makes sense, right? You remember how you take your remainder and you put it as the numerator, and you take your divisor and put it as the denominator? And then I just reduced by dividing by the greatest common factor. So I know that it's 2, right? 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that's where I came up with my 2/3, okay? All right, so let's look at example 3. The team won 2/3 of its games. Find the percent of games the team won, okay? 3 times what is 100? doesn't work. So I can't use my first two examples. I'm going to multiply by 100%. Do the same thing, put my 1 under so I can multiply my fractions. So 200% divided by 3. Okay, remember that's a division problem. Which number goes in the box? Oh, the top number always goes in the box. Okay, will 3 go into 2? No. I like to put a little X there just to keep my places straight. You don't have to. Will 3 go into 20? Yes, 6 times. 6 times, so I'm going to multiply, subtract. Is 2 less than 3? Yes, so I can bring down. Will 3 go into 12? Oh, look, 6. Okay. And I get a remainder of 2. Remember, my remainder is the numerator. My divisor is the denominator. And I bring my percent up. So 66 2/3%. That's one of those fractions you'll remember. 1/4 is 25%. You'll remember that. Oops, that's a 1. 1/3 is 33 1/3%. 1/2 is 50%. 3/4 is 75%. 2/3 we just found out is 66 2/3%. So basic, let's see, 1/10 is 10%. So those, if you do them often enough, you'll be able to just know those right off the top of your head. So that'll be helpful. You won't always have to calculate them. And those are pretty common percents that you'll find. So do it with the charts if you can. If it's an easy, multiply this by something to get 100, divide by something to get 100, you can do it that way. If not, just multiply by 100%. Remember, it's a division problem. The numerator becomes the dividend. The top number goes in the box. Then when you get your answer, put your remainder up here. You'll probably get into decimals at some point, decimal remainders, but not yet. We'll just use fraction remainders for now. So good luck. Let me know if you need help.